Hello, PTG basketball fans. We got a game between the Seattle Supersonics and the Los Angeles Lakers of 1972. As you can see by the score, the Sonics have put up more than at least 30 points in each quarter, and they currently lead 95 to 89 going into the fourth quarter. As expected, Spencer Haywood's having a pretty bang-up game. He had 6 in the third quarter. And he also had 5 more in the 6 in the third, 5 points in the second quarter, and 16 points in the first quarter. So do the quick math there: 16, 21, 27 points, and the Lakers have had no ability to stop Spencer. And Lenny Wilkins has also got double-digit assists, and they've maintained this lead throughout most of the game. Part of the reason these 1972 Lakers, who won 69 games and had a 33-game winning streak, are having trouble stopping Seattle is the fact that the ratings for defense for the 72 Lakers seem a bit underpowered. And I was going to just do a quick demonstration of the comparable 1971 Lakers, who won 48 games, the 1972 Lakers, who won 69, and I'm playing this game right now, and the 1973 Lakers, who had another strong season with 60 wins. And I wanted to compare the defensive ratings of the starting lineup for each of those teams, which is virtually the same lineup. And we start with the 71 team, the 48-win team. And we'll go right to the big guy, Wilt Chamberlain, and the Dipper. Go over here. He got a 2A on defense, which is quite low for him. Even Wilt should be at least a 3 at the worst case scenario, but at least there's a little bit of justification. I mean, of course, Jerry West, still considered one of the best defensive players, received a 4A. See the defensive ratings right there. The 4 is the big rating, which stops scoring. The A is basically just how much did they actually foul, and Jerry did not foul much, even though he played 40 minutes a game. So going through the other players, Happy Harrison's a 2B, which isn't great. Jim McMillan was pretty much a rookie, so 1A, that's not too unusual. And Gail Goodrich got a 1B, undersized. And this Laker team of 1971, they averaged about 108 points a game and gave up about 105, so they only had a differential of about 3.1 per game. Now, you contrast that one season later, and the 69 Lakers won 21 more games, 33-game winning streak, as I mentioned. And for some reason, it seemed like they were asleep at the wheel at PTG when they rated these players. West still got his 4A on defense, as you can see. They dropped Happy Harrison down to a 1B, which makes absolutely no sense. He's played full-time, played almost every game, and you'd think he'd be at least a 2B based on his prior seasons or even a future season. His future is a 73 season card. There's Happy. He's a 3. 3 on defense. So to give him a 1 is quite unusual. And Wilt Chamberlain, they kind of just had a hangover. They just opened up the same file from 70-71 and gave him a 2 on the defensive end. So it just makes you wonder what was going on in their minds when your team scored 121 points a game, gave up only 108, difference of about 13 points per game, and they only allowed about 43% from the floor. The 71 team averaged a bit less points, but they still gave up 45% from the floor. Then McMillan goes up to a 2A, which is a little bit better, and Gail Goodrich gets a 2A, which probably is merited right there. But you compare Gail with his 73 counterpart, and he's a 3A for the 1973 team. And that team won 9 less games, and their differential in points was about, I believe, 8 points a game, which is still very good. And so the 73 team, as you can see here, they gave Goodrich a 3, McMillan a 2, Chamberlain back up to a 4. This is where he probably should have been for 72. He's a first-team All-NBA defender. You know, those are voted on by the the coaches of the players. So that's just kind of questionable. You never know about votes, but either way, it's Wilt Chamberlain. Everybody knows this guy still was blocking quite a bit of shots when he was in his mid 30s, 34, 35, 36 years old. So, and West, of course, got the 4A. So, anyway, I was just making that comparison there. If I was going to replay the 72 Lakers season, I think there would have to be a modification to a couple defensive ratings. I mean, Wilt would obviously be a 4A on defense. I'd probably even take Harrison conservatively up to a 2, even though he deserves a 3. McMillan probably deserves a 3. He always had a good defensive reputation. And Gail Goodrich, who got a 3 in 73, a 2 might be okay for him. But to have that many players underrated on defense, they're going to give up a lot of points. And it's going to be a lot more difficult for them to blow out any opponent when the defense is not that good. Granted, they got great rebounding. They've got by far the best scoring team in the league. So, I mean, I could be entirely wrong here, but it seems like they at least shortchanged a couple of the key players on the team. Even the bench for the Lakers is 72, just off the top of my head. Pat Riley has a 3 on the defensive end. I mean, if Pat Riley's getting a 3 on the defensive end, Jim McMillan deserves a 3, and Happy Harrison deserves a 3 as well. So we'll see how this game plays out, but this has just been a slight comparison between the 3 Laker teams of the early 70s. I'm not a professed Laker fan. I'm from the Portland area, and the Blazers were still a very young team during this time frame. But anyway, this kind of gives you a quick indication of what's going on, and we're going to get back to the game in just a couple of moments.